This is the Solana 1-month overview reading for the month of December 2024. It's currently December 1st, 2024, 2:27 a.m. Eastern Time. Solana at the time of this reading is $236.34, that's USD. And the shuffle video for the December reading was created on October 15th, 2024, 3:26 p.m. Eastern Time. If you're lucky enough to be watching this video before Black Friday, the Black Friday deals are already running. You don't have to wait till Black Friday. These are the best deals we've ever offered by a landslide, my friends. Everything's cut in half or more, just about. The Black Friday deal ends on Cyber Monday. In this video, we're going to cover the overall trend direction for the month, as well as any important chart events that take place throughout the month. We're also going to cover the week-by-week chart behavior, timing of the peaks and troughs. Then we're going to get into a review of the previous month's reading to give you an idea of what our accuracy really is like. And we're going to give you one of the best trades that we see for the month. The timing, for the most part, is going to be on point to the day, but there will be some cases where the sequence of events, as outlined in the prediction, will remain accurate, but the day might be off plus or minus a day, wiggle room here or there. In other readings, you won't need to plus or minus wiggle room at all. Point being is that you want to follow the sequence of events as outlined by the prediction. When trading this information, you don't want to use price levels as your entry and exits. This is very important. You want to make sure that you're trading with entry and exits based on chart behavior and general timing, but look for the chart behavior. All of that in this video. Stay tuned to watch the review at the end. The overall theme of behavior for Solana in December, the Fool card, a significant, when you have the Fool card as the theme card for a 1-month reading, it's indicating a really significant move on a 1-year chart scale with an opportunity, like an improbable opportunity. And it looks like it has something to do with a multi-day peak, or maybe even like a peak that stands out on a 1-year chart kind of scale. The peak will form when we rally through key resistance, we stay above it briefly, and then we break back down through that same price level shortly thereafter with the full retracement. Behavior around the high side, looks like we established support on a 1-year chart scale that is like where the December high is, and behavior around the low side. We have the devil card in the low position, indicating most likely that we're going to have some sort of chart behavior that really is scary, and it indicates we're going to go lower than we actually end up going. Maybe we go lower for like a second and everything looks like really, really bad, and then we turn around and we come back. So just be very careful around the lows, not to chase declines, not to necessarily chase declines. We'll look at that in more detail as we progress into the reading. Yeah, see the yellow correlation to the December low significator on the 1-year reading is the prudence card, also another indication to be very careful near the December low. It looks like there's a lot of sideways rotation. Overall looks pretty bullish from the 1-year chart standpoint. Now I'm going to give you the day-by-day sequence of chart events. That way you have a guide. The timing is usually on point to the day, but not each card's energy will necessarily line up with one day of time, so you have to give it wiggle room on some readings, like plus or minus a day here or there. On a bad reading, maybe plus or minus 2 days. So the sequence of events, it's important to understand we are predicting the sequence of chart events. The timing is generalized, it's usually on point, but that's not exactly what we're predicting. We're predicting the sequence of events. Hopefully that makes sense, my friends. So I'm going to give you that sequence of chart events, but before I do that, I just want you to be aware. The whole purpose of the channel is to transmute some of the competitive energy of the stock market into goodwill. And we do that by following through on the rule of karma, which is a threefold agreement between the universe and anybody utilizing this information for personal gain. There's nothing wrong with utilizing this for personal gain as long as you're simultaneously helping other people to use this. So let's make sure that we follow through on the rule of karma. And the way that we do that, we go to the resources tab of our website, Tarot for Traders, click on resources, and then 5% of any profits from information in this channel should be donated forward to a charity. And you can utilize one of these links right here. It's super easy, just click and donate. Or if you've got a charity you're choosing, that's cool too. Just make sure you pay it forward. That keeps the flow of abundance going through the universe, and it effectively transmutes competitive energy of the stock market into goodwill. Imagine if everybody was doing that, how much better the world would be. And then 5% of the profit should be donated forward to the channel through one of these links. If you're international, you can use this app Wise, it's very reliable, or you can use crypto. If you click on the crypto tab, you've got all of these different QR codes. You can donate in a bunch of different cryptos. Really great way to help out the channel. It's the right thing to do, keeps it interesting, especially because I don't get to trade that often because it takes so much time just to do this information. So this keeps it interesting. It's a way to say thank you. All of that leaves you with 90%, way more than a stockbroker would leave you with. Make sure to spend that money out of love. That's the third fold of the threefold agreement, the rule of karma. As long as you follow those rules, the universe considers you an angel investor of the channel. It's going to set it back to you tenfold for following through. Blessings to all my angel investors. Let's get back into it. All right, we have a rally on the 1st. There's a rally on the 1st and a notable move to the upside. It'll stand out on a multi-day scale. We may turn over by the end of the day on the 1st, or it may be that we have a reversal moving to the downside on the 2nd. If it's on the 1st, then likely we have like some back and forth behavior going on the 2nd, or out of a decline on the 2nd, we have another reversal back to the upside. From the bottom of a range all the way to the top of a range, it could be starting out of a decline that ends on the 2nd or ends on the 3rd. It's kind of hard to say. But we have a failed attempt to break through key resistance on the 4th, followed by a decline through key support. There's likely to be a prominent trough there on a 1-month scale. And then we have another big move to the upside. There's definitely a prominent trough there on a 1-month scale around the cusp of the 4th, 5th. And out of that, we have a big move to the upside, like a breakout. The breakout does not hold.
We turn around and we decline through multiple support levels on the 6th. Decline continues into the 7th, but ends on the 7th with a fast, sudden move higher. Maybe that we're seeing some devil card energy around there. We'll have to look at that in more detail in the monthly access version. There's an important resistance level on a multi-day scale highlighted on the 8th that we failed to break through many times before. A trough towards the end of the day. Magus card move on the 9th, which in this case actually looks like it's probably to the upside. It's to the upside and then back down. So we rally pretty notably out of the trough at the end of the day on the 8th into a peak, probably before noontime on the 9th. And then we decline back down with the sideways fluctuating decline back down to a trough. It's a full retracement. It takes a little bit longer to get there, but it's a full retracement back down to the price levels of that previous trough. So the trough from the end of the day on the 8th, we likely see it again, those price levels around the end of the day on the 10th. There should be a move to the upside out of that trough on the 11th. We break through resistance momentarily, and then we break back down through it shortly thereafter, back into a trough on the 11th, and we might be establishing that price level there as an important technical price level on at least a 1-month scale, probably on a 1-year chart scale. It might be that we're establishing it, or it might be that we're visiting it and it's already prevalent as an important price level. We'll have to see. But then there's a decline on the 12th through multiple support levels, turning into sideways rotation around the end of the day on the 12th or early in the day on the 13th. Sideways rotation along key support with a big move to the upside, ending that sideways rotation probably towards the second half of the 13th. And then we have quite a bit of volatility and sideways behavior on the 14th. It looks like we do some sideways rotation, but we also have a Princess of Swords correlation there. So we likely see a pretty notable decline from key resistance on a multi-day scale there, probably end of the day on the 13th or early in the day on the 14th. Look for like a sideways rotation just temporarily. And from that resistance, we should decline pretty notably into a trough towards the end of the day on the 14th. And then we have sideways prominent trough on a 1-month scale there on the 14th, prominent trough on a 1-month scale there on the 15th with some sideways fluidity, equal amounts of bulls and bear inflow and outflow. We very, very likely have some sort of devil card fake out, shakeout there around the 14th, 15th as well in the midst of those price swings on the 15th especially. On the 16th, we have an important range on a multi-day scale that's highlighted, and then looks like we push that range, the upper end of that range, higher on the 17th. Then we do sideways rotation on the 18th. There's a sharp drop that'll stand up in that period of sideways rotation. We'll probably go from important resistance on a multi-day scale on the 18th into important support on a multi-day scale there on the 18th. But there's a prominent trough on the 18th, and a sharp drop there. We likely are revisiting support that was recently a past opportunity, maybe from like the 14th, 15th. So the resistance that we likely fall from on the 18th, we most likely are going to revisit that on the 19th with a lot of price change to the upside, and then a sharp drop off of that around the end of the day on the 19th into the 20th. A lot of volatility and price change taking place on the 20th. So it looks like we have a sharp drop end of the day on the 19th into the 20th, where we have a prominent trough and then a big move to the upside to key technical price level on a 1-year chart scale, probably midday peak. We successfully find support on the 21st. Now, in this case, it may be that we have this move to the upside to key technical price level midday on the 20th, and then we turn that into sideways, into support, successfully turn it into support, establishing it with sideways rotation on the 21st. Or it may be that we decline from that peak and then find support at the bottom of the decline on the 21st. But I think it's probably establishing a higher level of support there. The decline's the alternate, but I think it's to the upside. And then on the 22nd, we have a rally that increases with momentum moving forward in time, taking us into a peak on the cusp of the 22nd, 23rd. Rally turns over with a fast sudden move higher on the 23rd, and then a breakdown through that diagonal trend line that we were rallying along with increasing volatility on the way down. We attempt to establish support on the 24th with a sharp drop, probably early to midday, into a prominent trough on a 1-month scale, and then more decline. A lot of back and forth price swinging going on the 24th and the 25th. So we decline pretty notably. We attempt to establish support at the trough there on the 24th. And then we likely return back to the resistance that we fell from on the 24th. We likely return back to it on the 25th. And then decline again back into prominent trough on a 1-month scale. There's a U-shaped dip. So out of that decline on the 25th into the trough, there should be a notable move around the cusp of the 25th, 26th. Or it could be end of the day on the 26th. Hard to say. But it'll be to the upside, taking us to a peak, and then we have an unexpected move higher on the 27th. We likely turn over around the cusp of the 26th, 27th, move to the downside, and then there's an unexpected move to the upside, like a really big move, one of the biggest moves of the month, there on the 27th, 28th. An important trough on a multi-day scale, an important crest or peak on a multi-day scale there on the 25th. In the case of this reading, we had those troughs there on the 25th, 26th forming, so this would be the highest point probably since those troughs. And then we have a decline through multiple support. We have a decline on the 30th. We have a decline on the 30th, to and through support to meet another support. We then try to establish direction there with sideways rotation for a little bit, and then break down through more supports on the 30th. A lot of volatility on the 31st with a sharp drop that'll stand out in that period of volatility. And then the Ace of Swords for the sneak preview in January. So So there's likely a lower price level in January, but the Ace of Swords also indicates that very likely we have this key resistance that we decline from and then return to at least one, making it a good trade opportunity. It's one of the more reliable trade opportunities to trade the Ace of Wands. Now, I'm going to give you one of the best trades that I see for the month of December, but before I do that, let's take a look at the 2024 reading and see how we're doing so far. It's looking pretty good, guys. So we had a highest high thus far around January, February. Okay, January, February. Then we pushed the upper end of a range higher in March. That's that AM card at the end of January, and it looks like that move started. I probably predicted that the move started at the end of the month of January, and it looks like that's really where it really took off. Then we have multiple failed attempts to break through key resistance here early March. We have some important troughs here, important peaks, important troughs. And then we have another highest high. Well, we had a highest high possibly in the end of July or in August, and we came really, really close. But then we have a highest high for the year of 2024 here in November, and it looks like we probably established support at a much higher price level based on the cards here for the December cluster. This is a very solid reading, guys, and there's plenty of trades in there and whatnot. I'll get into that in more detail when we review it in the 2025 reading. If you're wondering, the 2024 Solana reading was created on September 3rd, 2023 at 2:46 p.m. Eastern Time. That is a testament to SO meta-analysis, guys. There's no one else doing that with this kind of accuracy. So at the end of this, guys, I'll show you guys how to get access to the paid version of this reading, as well as access to the paid version of all of the 2025 readings, all that stuff, along with the live Discord trade alerts and live updated trading view chart links for Solana and a bunch of others. I'll show you how to get all that stuff, guys. Game-changing services that if you want to take it up a notch and really, really get serious about trading SO meta-analysis, the most accurate form of analysis in existence. If you're serious about it, those services are essential. I'll show you how to get them at the end of the video, guys. And if you're seeing this before Cyber Monday ends, if you're lucky enough to see this before Cyber Monday ends, my friends, do not miss out on these insane deals that we have going on until the end of Cyber Monday. Oh, that's right. That's right. So I remember looking at this, and this big Lust card move starts out of the November low, continuing into, it looks like, into December. Well, actually, we probably come down a little bit, and then we establish support there. All right. Well, based on this, guys, the best trade that we're looking at. See, this is another thing that you see in the paid version of these monthlies, guys. I look at cross-reading congruencies between the overlapping time frames. So this is the cluster for December for 2024 Solana in the 2024 one-year reading. And then, I look for cross-reading congruencies and correlations between the two readings, which gives me an even greater depth of vision that only found with SO meta-analysis. All right, so there's a good trade here, guys. I'm going to give you the entry and the exit, and then I'll give you chart behavior that you want to look for leading into the entry. It's important to understand this is really information that should be considered entertainment. I'm trying to show you guys, show the world that extrasensory perception can be used practically in the real world, and it can. We're doing it every single day. Right? But to trade this stuff is a lot more complicated. It's not as easy as it may appear at first glance. So if you really insist on trading this stuff, you're going to want to get the services from the monthly access subscription or the early access subscription. Again, I'll show you how to get all that stuff at the end of the video. But if you insist on trading without any of those services, guys, make sure to look for this chart behavior leading into the entry. If the chart behavior does not transpire as expected leading into the entry, that's an indication not to enter the trade. Okay, so the entry is going to be on the cusp of the 6th, 7th. And the exit is going to be on the 9th. The chart behavior to look for leading into that. Okay, so we'll have a prominent trough around the 4th, 5th with a breakout to the upside on a multi-day scale around the 5th. It doesn't hold by the 6th. It looks like we're probably declining through multiple support levels. You're looking for that decline, right? When we see prominent troughs at least as low as the trough that we saw on the 4th, when we see those price levels, that's where you would enter into a partial long, right? Probably before midday on the 7th. If we go lower by the end of the day on the 7th, then add to it. But more likely, what we're going to do is have this fast sudden move higher, taking us into the 8th. There might be a little pullback towards the end of the day on the 8th, and then another big move to the upside towards the earlier part of the 9th into likely a highest high thus far. And that's where you would exit the long position for that long swing trade. If you miss that exit, likely there's another exit, but it'll be around the 19th, 20th. And at that point, guys, you're going to want to be consulting me. But that's one of the best trades I see for Solana in December. Let me know what you think by hitting that like button. As always, make sure to follow that rule of karma. Blessings to all my angel investors. I will see you guys on the next one.